Hello and welcome to Eye on Port. This program is proudly brought to you by World Company Limited, Serene Insurance, the Ghana Revenue Authority, and the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. In this week's edition of the program, we are going to assess the increasing numbers of COVID-19 cases vis-a-vis port business, and we engaged the General Manager Health Services of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, who shared some revealing COVID-19 statistics on the ports community. Let's take a listen.
Look at it. So now in our clinic, GPHA clinic, Tema, total positive as of today, 10 a.m., we have 597. We are almost at 600 positive.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because we've tested almost about 4,000.
Yeah.
And out of that, almost 600.
And to get it straight and clear to everybody, that's not supposed to be only GPH's
No,
stuff.
that's what I want to highlight.
It includes private folks, corporate organizations,
correct,
and quite a tall list of corporate organizations.
Correct.
And folks who are on board vessels as well who have come in.
That's right. And I want to make it clear that, you see, if you look at the figures, GPHA staff and dependent, meaning our staff and dependent, because our clinic primarily is for our staff and dependents, okay? So they patronize us a lot.
Okay.
But we are open to the general public. That's how come private people come there. And also other corporate organizations patronize us, like MPS, Shipyard, GMA, that's Ghana Maritime Authority, and others. So this, to make it clear that these numbers are not GPHA staff only, but it's a mixture. Even though we are in the majority, if you look at it, because, of course, it's our clinic, and majority are students. And don't forget, GPHA staff, we are numbering almost 3,000 in Tema Port alone.
Yeah.
So that's a huge number, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now look, this figure here, as you're showing us, total, as I told you, is 3,500, almost 3,600 cases.
Yeah.
Samples taken so far.
3,253. And total
tested.
confirmed.
Total confirmed is the 597 that we just saw.
Yes.
And negatives is there. So positive rate of 18.4%.
From January 2020 to February 2020.
Correct.
No staff of your authority has
no
passed.
Staff. No staff has passed. There are quite a number. The statistics will tell us there were a number of staff and dependents who got infected, but
which
no staff died. I repeat, no staff died. We didn't register any mortality.
Good.
Among the staff of GPHA. We didn't register any mortality.
Okay, what about your stakeholders then?
The stakeholders, from the statistics I have, I know that one dependent died, another one from another company. I can't mention the name of the company. So, but all in all, I can say that less than 5 people within the port community might have lost their life. But
so these are the stakeholders within the port who are coming to your clinic.
Correct. For
the sample taken. And you have 2,328.
28, yes.
Out of that, numbers tested, 2,081.
That means there's a lag there.
Between samples taken and then the
there's a lag because some are still pending, isn't it? Some are pending. Some results are pending. Because we see in our clinic, we don't test. But the good news is that, and I'm going to make this right now, good news is that right from next week, we'll be doing testing in our clinic.
I see.
We'll be doing testing. So that will even enhance the
That's
numbers.
a big news. Now, because a lot of people know that where we test is the Noguchis and all the other centers.
Correct.
And I think along the line, we added the veterinary services. You're saying that the Ports and Harbours Authority, from your outfit, the health services, you are going to begin testing?
Correct.
I see. You got that mandate now.
We see it's because of the numbers we're getting. They are so overwhelming that we need to do one thing. Don't forget, we are also a border. Point of entry, just like the airport. Is that okay?
Yes.
So we are looking at putting in place the antigen test or the similar test that is being done at the airport.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
And which is perfect because this is a screening method. You do it for a lot of numbers. And if you get those who are positive, and indeed you still want to do confirmatory test by the PCR, then you can do that. Okay. But it is equally good. And once we get, and you know that when we test, say, a staff of GPHA and the person is positive, we'll have to run up and do what? Contact tracing within the department, isn't it? Yeah. And wherever that person has connections with in terms of work. So imagine the number of people who come to us in the clinic, various department. When you come and we are going to do contact tracing, when we take your sample, you have to go home. You can't go to work.
Yeah. And how long do you have to go home for?
Minimum 7 days, because we expect that the results should come within 7 days, which is 1 week.
Okay.
Sometimes it can be more than that, sometimes it can be less. But we give you 7 days. That means what? The authority is losing economic manpower hours.
Yeah. We have the highest number recorded in June, 175.
I'm saying that this is what we have in our clinic, Ghana
Yes.
Ports and Harbours Authority clinic in Tema.
Yes.
But it is a reflection of the national
Oh,
situation.
is it?
Oh, yes, the situation in the national
that
also.
was going to be my next question.
June,
Is that
it
what
peaked.
happened?
It peaked in June,
Okay.
nationally, yes. So again, we are part of the country,
Yeah.
and all this, our statistic is also fed into the what? The national
statistics.
Yes, obviously.
I see.
Yes.
So 30.8% is the highest we ever got.
Correct.
Drop 22, drop 19, drop 7.3, drop 8.1. What do you think we were doing right to bring all these numbers down then?
Thank you, Sammy. Indeed, when we started in March and the news came and people were all eager to know what COVID-19 is all about, people were interested in know, okay, what can I do to protect myself and my family and my work colleagues? So people started taking interest in what? The preventive measures, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they went on and on. But again, along the line, as human beings as we are, obviously people started relaxing.
Yeah.
Because they say, oh, after all, it's not that bad. Koro, as we popularly call it in Ghana. There are still a lot of people here in Ghana who still believe that koro doesn't exist.
It doesn't.
Or they say it's a disease of the affluent. COVID-19 is no respecter of persons. It's no respecter of social status. It's no respecter of religion or anything. So indeed, so people started relaxing. And so the virus started doing what? Getting back to us, isn't it? But initially people were obeying. And also, don't forget that the government came out with a lot of restrictions, okay?
Yeah.
To protect us.
Yeah.
There was a lockdown, total lockdown on Accra and Tema.
Yeah.
That did a lot because the national hotspot
Yeah.
is still Accra and Tema.
But
that's right.
We could never flatten it. Could we have flattened it?
Yes and no. We could have so many factors that have to be in place. First of all, we as a citizenry, we should obey the instructions from government and from the health workers who are advising us and telling us what we should do. Preventive measures, I think that largely, majority of people know what to do to keep themselves safe from COVID-19. But the question is, we are relaxed. We don't apply them to the letter. That is one. Two, of course, the health system that we have, the thing is, if you are sick and you have confidence in the health system and you go to a health facility on time, you report on time, and it's picked out as COVID, then you are isolated.
Yeah.
That will prevent transmission. Yeah. But the point is that there are a lot of people who still believe in alternative medicine.
Could we have, as a country and from policy perspective, put in certain measures from that time, even though we were enjoying that kind of steep descent, we could have still put in some measures that as soon as we get to the lowest we wanted, which was somewhere around September, it stays right there all throughout till the end of the year.
Yes, we could have, but then it had to be a two-way thing. Whatever the
people and then the policy.
Thank you. So
but did we get the policy to direct the people to do it?
Enforcement.
Okay.
Enforcement is an issue here, number one. Because if the government has come out and told everybody what to do to keep their figures down or to keep themselves protected, if we as a people are obedient, are disciplined enough, then we don't actually need somebody to whip us to be able to do what we are supposed to do. But unfortunately, you can't expect everybody to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, over 30 million Ghanaians, everybody will not behave correctly. Yeah. So obviously, policy is there, but implementation of the policy and don't forget, implementation of policy comes with cost.
There are people who have called for the fact that, from what you have said, because there are a lot of red flags in Accra, Tema, and Kumasi, why don't we shut these cities down? Do you think that we're getting to that point where that may be required?
I'll leave that to the advisors, national advisors, but I think that we are at that point.
I see.
Well, the government could also be harder on their enforcement and make sure that the penalties are quite steep and the penalties are deterrent enough.
Okay.
So maybe we should look at that.
Yeah. What have you also done that has made you seen almost no deaths? The fatality rate is almost zero.
Yeah, it is zero, not almost.
What do you do?
Thank you, Sammy. It's simple, as I said. The authority, top management, the Director General and top management, with the blessing of the board, put at our disposal enough resources. You know that it's not cheap to buy this PPEs, that's the personal protective equipment in jail. The mask, the gowns, and all that. Surgical gowns, at the peak of everything last year, you saw how people were making brisk business with all these PPEs. Yeah. But the authority did not relent. Even though there was no budget, They came out and straight away provided all that we asked for. But we quickly put in place policies. First of all, we went around and did sensitization of the entire port community. We didn't leave any stakeholder out. Everybody was covered. We told them what COVID is all about, the preventive measures, and what they should do to constantly keep safe at the workplace and at home. So that word went round, and you kept playing it on our intranet, isn't it?
Yes.
And that is also a very good source of information.
Yeah.
The port never shut down,
Yeah.
unlike the airport, which was closed for some time, isn't it? But the port will never shut down for a whole year since last year.
It's been open to business all
It's been open to
yeah.
business all along. If we have to shut down the port, that means that the economy of Ghana will grind to a halt.
Of course.
Because most of the economic activities, you know, we facilitate what? Trade, isn't it?
Yes.
And most of our goods come through the port, right?
Yes.
And these are essential goods, okay? So we never shut down, even throughout the lockdown. But what did we do? The policy said, now, instead of cement coming with the vessels and getting off and entering our country, going to the duty-free shop to buy things, we stopped that. When your vessel comes into port, you remain on your vessel. We have welcomed you, but you cannot come down. You cannot enter our country. You have no business entering if you are not sick. If you have nothing to do, remain on your vessel. They will discharge your goods, load your ship, and you're going back.
Yeah.
But why do we have these figures? It's because some people, we could have suspected cases on board. And when we gather that from the information that we're teasing from them earlier, we will have to screen those people. So if you have suspected cases, when the vessel comes, it doesn't even come to port. It will dock at where? It will be at anchorage.
Yeah.
To berth at anchorage, you remain there. We'll go on board the vessel at the high seas. Pick the sample and send it for testing. If somebody happens to test positive, then all the crew members on board that vessel are tested.
Yeah.
That's how can we have these figures.
I see.
And also, there's something called crew change. Crew change means people on board, the seamen who have to disembark or come down from the vessel, and others board. So those coming down are called off-signers, and those going on board are called on-signers. Indeed, when they opened the airport again, people started coming. But even before the opening of the airport, they were coming on special flights. They will fly in specially, but by then we would have screened them also again, check their status, the COVID-19 status. And then we do all that, call the crew change. We do all that, and also that comes out with some numbers. And so that's why we have those figures there.
Our international port news that we've been playing since last year till now, we always hear quite a number of crew members who get sick on board, and even sometimes it's difficult to evacuate them and all of that.
Correct.
So you're saying that out of 272 folks that you, crew folks that you have screened, or 266 that you have tested, only 10 tested positive.
10 came out positive.
I see.
And what happened to those 10? Once we know that you're positive and you're on board the vessel, there's a very, very strict protocol that you have to go through.
Okay.
Those who are not very sick clinically are taken to an isolation center. So we then, we get involved, we get called the Municipal Health Directorate involved. That's the Tema West. We belong to Tema West Municipal Health Directorate. Okay. So they come, they get involved, and so they take down all those people, disembark them, and they will use special ambulances under special cover. People don't fully. All the protocols are observed, and we send such cases to isolation. That's those who are not sick. Yeah. But those who are sick and need admission, or they need hospital care, and need treatment, indeed, we send them to either we have International Maritime Hospital, which is a COVID treatment center, or to Noguchi, to UGMC, which is the University of Ghana Medical Center, or to Ghana East.
So even from the beginning, the perception out there was that that is where a lot of things will come from. And I'm seeing your numbers now, and it's on the contrary, very impressive how you have managed and handled the situation there. I want to know what you are doing next. Now that we have all heard about the new variants and all of that, I'll come to you. Yeah. I asked you about the numbers dropping from, if you take the 2021 numbers.
Correct.
So January, we see the numbers getting back up and all that. Does it include the new variants? Have you recorded any new variants?
The truth is that because our clinic, we don't do testing. And as for sequencing, the gene sequence of the virus is done only at Noguchi, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. And so even before coming to the studio, I cross-checked with Noguchi, and what they could tell me, they confirmed that, yes, indeed, we have the British or the UK variant here. And that is what is accounting for most of the current cases that we are seeing. Okay. And
But they couldn't tell you whether your numbers that you have recorded include some of the new variants.
Not specifically.
Okay.
And I was looking out for even the South African variant because we had got 2 confirmed cases on board the vessel from South Africa.
I see.
The vessel came from South Africa, and there were 2 confirmed cases who were disembarked and sent to our hospitals. So the samples are, and say they are yet to come out with the gene sequencing for that to confirm whether it's a South African variant or otherwise. But all we have to do is that there are multiple factors that we have to put in place to be able to protect us. The hand washing and the proper hand washing and the running water with soap, and also make sure that you keep sanitizing your hands. Where you don't have water, you must sanitize your hands. And as you touch objects, especially remote controls, your phone and other things, make sure that you're cleaning your phones constantly and really washing your hands and sanitizing. That is very, very important. Door handles, door knobs, remote controls. All these are things that even our computer keyboards in the offices.
So we believe members of the port community, and for that matter, Ghanaians in general, will continue to adhere to the safety protocols as announced by the health experts in order to bring the number of active cases to the barest minimum. Eye on Port returns after this break.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Tell God, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water, or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
Sa coronavirus yare no yare a sign pa. So obi yebi na se opowa gu so ana se obinti gu so a utumi nya yare ni bi. Okadi ni bahani onaka oyehila ekoji. Ohe banye do. Oba wulo. Ogo bahunu. Oba chine. E ojamba wohe. Oba na sen kaka. Mekme musunchon. Mekme nuni enihi. Coronavirus infection, the symptoms can range from mild, one of it being asymptomatic. Asymptomatic just means that you may not have any symptoms at all, and the disease process can gradually worsen to be a severe form, the severest being ultimately death. We are expected to sanitize our hands when our hands are not visibly soiled or you can't really see dirt on your hands. If you can see dirt on your hands, the best thing to do is to wash your hands with soap and the running water.
If you're using any of the cloth face masks, always make sure you have a rubber bag ready to receive it when you remove it. Or you have a bowl of warm soapy water in which you can place the mask and wash. Wash your mask, dry in the hot sun for at least 5 hours, and apply heat by way of ironing.
International port news is next.
Offshore drilling contractor Maersk Drilling has received a conditional letter of award from Tullow Oil for the provision of the ultra-deepwater drillship Maersk Ventura and additional services for a development drilling campaign at the 10 and Jubilee fields offshore Ghana. Maersk Drilling said on Thursday, 4th February 2021 that the duration of the final contract is around 4 years with an expected start in second quarter of 2021. The estimated value of the final contract is approximately $370 million, excluding the value of the additional services provided and performance bonuses. The operation will be supported by local partner Rig World. The Liberian registry has become the very first ship registry to sign onto the Neptune Declaration on Seafarer Wellbeing and Crew Change. The Liberian registry joins over 300 owners, operators, and maritime organizations in this very important worldwide call to action to end the unprecedented crew chain crisis caused by COVID-19. Signatories of the Neptune Declaration committed to act including calling industry peers and governments to recognize seafarers as key workers and give them priority access to COVID-19 vaccines and establish and implement gold standard health protocols based on existing best practice. A Singapore-based provider of smart tech and AI solutions for the maritime sector, Innovate1, has stated that the majority of the world's 4,900 ports are not yet using digital technology for even the most basic processes. According to Innovate1, 80% of ports continue to rely on manual legacy solutions such as whiteboards or spreadsheets to manage critical marine services such as towage, pilotage, and launch boats, leaving many ports commercially vulnerable and less able to compete in an increasingly digital world. The tech company said, while the phrase smart ports has been used regularly within the maritime industry for a number of years, the benefits of digitization remain the preserve of only a few large Tier 1 ports that have the profile and financial muscle.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine. because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
Schedules of vessels in the port, those at anchor regions, those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate next. Your comment is next.
Michael from Adentan asks, what are the likely signs to be observed within the few days of contracting the virus? Hello, Michael. According to Dr. Anab Bisi, some early symptoms include cough, runny nose, fever, diarrhea, body aches, and a host of others that are usually associated with other illness. So you are advised to get tested and seek treatment after detecting any ill health. Maxwell from Angola asks, please kindly let your doctor differentiate between the British variant and South African variant. Hi Maxwell, Dr. Anabisi says the characteristics of either variant are still under studies, but so far what they have gathered is the UK variant is harsher in its effect and more transmissible. Yao from Tema says, I want to know, since we are to trim the hair on our beards to prevent COVID-19, does it mean we should also treat the hair on our heads low? Yao, the medical doctor did not categorically state that scientific findings prove that trimming of beards prevents COVID-19 infection, but he agreed that it may be prudent to have a trimmed beard which will not encourage the virus to settle on them even when wearing a mask.
That's all for this week's episode of Eye on Port. Thank you for watching and thanks to the entire crew.